The first season of The Witcher was really freaking good, but it had some obvious problems. The timelines were messy, the CGI was awful, and some of the outfits looked so low budget you couldn't take them seriously. But overall, it was memorable and it deserved the hype and attention that it was getting. And going into season 2, I personally was really excited about it, but it had some problems that people didn't like, and instead of just listening to criticism and doing better in season 3, the showrunner has decided to go on social media and attack people who have problems with the series. I want to start off with this Bounding into Comics article, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this article says Netflix writer and producer Lauren Hisrich says she's the strong, independent woman you're looking to blame for The Witcher's second season. Of course, these people cannot take criticism and cannot take the fact that people have things about the show they do not like, so they go on social media and they have complete meltdowns. It says, in response to criticism of The Witcher's second season giving a larger focus to Yennefer and Ciri's stories at the expense of Geralt's, Netflix writer and producer Lauren Hisrich has declared that she is the strong, independent woman you're looking to blame for the series' narrative changes. It says she took credit for her work on January 6th in response to criticism of the series' second season made by The Quartering. He had put out a tweet saying Henry Cavill has been totally wasted on The Witcher. Geralt continues to play second or third fiddle in his own show because, well, Netflix. The writers are so obsessed to force the strong, independent woman who don't need no man, they ignore why most of us wanted to watch. Don't get me wrong, I like Yen and Ciri, but they have way too much screen time. Season 2 was a slight improvement from Season 1, but not enough to make me really anticipate a season 3 in any meaningful way. So as you can see, he was just criticizing the show. He was just saying, I have a couple of problems with it. I wish there was more Henry Cavill and Geralt. I like Yen and Ciri, don't get me wrong, but they have way too much screen time, and clearly Netflix is trying to give them a big focus in the show. He didn't tag anyone. He didn't tag Netflix. He didn't tag The Witcher. He didn't tag the showrunners, the writers, the producers, absolutely no one. He simply put his opinion on social media, and then this showrunner decided to go on the attack, retweeting it, saying, actually, I'm the strong, independent woman you're looking to blame for your sadness. We have seen this happen so many times. Producers, directors, writers, anyone on projects can't accept the fact that there are going to be people that will criticize your work. Even if you think that it's amazing, people are going to see flaws. People like her cannot take criticism, so she goes on social media and starts this retweet battle between herself and many other people. It says, unsurprisingly, her response resulted in an outpouring of both backlash and admiration from detractors and supporters, with The Witcher producer in turn responding to numerous tweets from both sides. She didn't just make one simple retweet and leave it at that. She has made so many tweets over the past few days. It's truly like she doesn't understand why people are criticizing the show. Yes, people like Yennefer and people like Ciri. I do too, but everyone loves Henry Cavill, and Henry Cavill is carrying the show on his back right now. If you took him out of the equation, I don't think the viewership would be as strong for the show. And she, of course, decided to continue attacking people. The Critical Drinker actually put out a tweet saying, you're also the person who wanted to throw a cheap joke into the Roach death scene, and it was only Henry Cavill who persuaded you, a professional writer. What a terrible idea that was. I don't think you have a whole lot to boast about right now. He showed this screenshot that says she admitted that when she first wrote the Roach death scene, her instinct was to puncture the moment with a bit of meta comedy. That sounds absolutely terrible. Imagine having this heartfelt moment, this very sad moment in the show, and then it's just ruined by comedy. That, to me, Doesn't sound like it would have been a good idea, but luckily Henry Cavill pushed for a more heartfelt moment, and eventually she caved, which she says was ultimately the right call. And luckily they didn't go in that direction and they actually listened to him. But a lot of people are arguing, why do you need an actor to tell you how to do your job? Don't you know the source material? Don't you know what fans of The Witcher would actually want to see? And she, of course, responded to this, saying, "This is blown up. Here's what was scripted. In homage of the fact that a previous Roach had existed and another one will exist soon, it's hardly a joke. Henry wanted a longer, more emotional moment, which I was more than happy to give him. Don't create drama where none exists." She's the one creating drama. She's going after people critiquing the show. Of course, people are going to critique her interviews, where she's literally admitted she wanted to make a joke out of this heartfelt moment, and one of the actors had to tell her not to do it. Of course, people are going to look at you and go, do you even know how to do your job? People are going to critique your products, and it's just that simple. She is the one creating drama. Stop retweeting people. You work for a company like Netflix. Act like it. Ever since the second season launched, there's been a lot of backlash on social media. A lot of people saying they didn't like the direction they took the story in, they don't like how they've done the pacing. Overall, they think the show could be better, and that is okay. People are allowed to criticize your products. Henry Cavill has been damage controlling since the release of the second season. He was saying he's up for more seasons, but he wants the show to stay closer to source material, and we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but clearly Henry Cavill's statements are directed towards someone like her that makes decisions like pacing and the story. Without him, there's no Witcher, and they're not gonna recast him. The show would face so much backlash, it would be pointless to release it. Ultimately, there's only so much pushback Henry Cavill can do after a contract signed, but he's basically said follow source material or I won't sign for more. I mean, they've basically created a whole new story with names that we know like Geralt and Ciri and Yennefer, but if those names weren't there and those actors weren't carrying the show, I think a lot of people would think it's mediocre at best. If you haven't read the books or played the games, I think the story would be pretty enjoyable. I don't hate the show, but as someone with knowledge of the books and the games, all I can see is problems. I think that if in season 3 they change course and make the content more accurate to source material, the show can be saved. I like a lot of what's here, but they need to start listening to people that actually care about the franchise. They need to start looking at the source material and utilizing the amazing works that they have to go off of. And unfortunately, it feels like at the beginning they kind of took some of that and mixed it all together with their own ideas, and slowly but surely they're moving off the source material path and they're just doing whatever the hell they feel like at this point. Someone sent her a tweet saying you have to be a little bit honest with yourself. The series has some terrible writing. You can still be a strong, independent woman and ask for some help, maybe from somebody that actually read and cares about the books like Henry. I'm a fan of The Witcher, but as an adaptation, it's bad. And she decided to respond saying, I understand you don't like the writing, and that's fine. What's not fine is presenting your opinion as fact. I personally liked the season, or I wouldn't have written it that way, honestly. And that's great, Lauren. Good for you. I'm glad you like the show, but the show isn't being created for just you and you alone. It's being created for Witcher fans, for fantasy fans, for people to sit down and binge this show. It's not being created just so that you like it. You have to consider the millions of other people out there who have read the books, who want it to stay truer to the books, people who have played the games, who want it to be, an adaptation of the games. But of course, she's not doing that. She's basically saying, I liked it, so who cares if you do? I think that this is a terrible way to respond to criticism. She's saying things like, I don't get this take. I just don't understand why people don't like it, basically. Roach is dead. The show is about to start up production again, making jokes about people saying the show is dead. I don't think that the show is dead, and I do think that they can, maybe in season 3, kind of follow the source material more and people will give them another chance. But I think that showrunners have to stop going on social media and attacking people and blasting fans simply for critiquing the work that they've created. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the social... But But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.